Welcome to the Let Them Live podcast with Emily Burning, a place for meaningful conversations, real stories, and a shared mission to protect life. Welcome back, everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone's good. Today's kind of crazy. Today's just one of those days where it's like, oh man, like life just kind of keeps hitting you, but we take heart because God is good and he knows everything. So my favorite adage, which I originally learned from a friend of mine named Kathy, is God is real. His name is not Emily, but of course hers said God is real. His name is not Kathy. So there's days like today where I wake up and I'm like, okay, like maybe it feels a little happy waking up, but I don't know everything. So I'm just gonna go into the word, spend some time with Jesus, and then go about my day. So today's actually turning out to be a really good day because I am here recording and I get to talk to just an amazing guest. You guys are going to meet Victoria. Actually, you've already met Victoria before, but this was like a long time ago. And when I had interviewed Victoria, it was kind of around her being a pregnancy counselor with Let Them Live, and she still volunteers with Let Them Live in that capacity. But she's actually started her own ministry, which is amazing because you guys know I'm a huge supporter of people starting pro-life organizations. Like I want to see more. So this is really exciting. We're going to be talking about her ministry. We're going to be talking about partnership in the pro-life movement. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff. So I am going to just let Victoria maybe do a little intro of herself because your girl doesn't remember everything that she wants to say. Okay. Okay, wait. And also let me unmute you because that would be good.
That's good.
Hey, Victoria, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks so much for having me back. I'm super excited to be back and talk about just the new things that are coming about since the last time I was on the
Me
podcast.
too. I know. It's like crazy how much stuff changes. And I'm glad we finally made it. For those of you who don't know, this is like, well, we haven't canceled as many times as I thought, just one other time, but
Yeah.
we're here. We made it.
Yeah. For both of us,
That's
our
awesome.
lives are just super hectic and, when it rains, it pours. So, but we're super blessed to be able
100%.
to do this today.
100%. So we're here. Why don't you share a little bit about yourself? And then I really want to just get into your ministry because it's just something that's so important. I mean, like the whole point of nonprofits is to fill gaps that we find. And so yours is doing that. So why don't you like introduce yourself a little bit and then we'll get into it.
Yes, so I'm Victoria. So I found Let Them Live through Instagram actually when I really wanted to get more involved in the pro-life movement a couple years ago. And I dove in, talked to people who were in this ministry, and I wanted to know where I could fit, where it would work out, that there was a good place for me and what I was trying to do. So I became a pregnancy counselor with Let Them Live. And I did that. I wanted to say 2 years, but I think it was actually less.
The time is warped.
It is, because it feels like I was just doing that. And I was like, oh, it must have been 2 years. But when I look at how old my son was, he was like 1. And then it was shortly after he was 2, and I was pregnant with my daughter. So I, was about to have a newborn plus, a toddler running around. It was a lot. And so I knew that in terms of like the super personal, like counseling with the scheduled, calls and all that I need to take a step back from that. But while I was, while I was doing all that, I was kind of like seeing a pattern with some of the women, especially when I was trying to get them connected with the women who I was trying to get them connected with local resources.
Yeah.
I was starting to notice a pattern, and a lot of them were having trouble with like material aid to try to get that. And I knew I was about to step down from counseling, but it was really difficult for me to, know that there was a lot of women out there. Yeah.
Like fully bow out. It's so funny because in your mind, like this is how God works. God's like, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna take a step back, and he's like, no, you're not. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like just a different
literally
way, like
exactly how it was.
strap up, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we did not foresee this happening, which is why, like, I know that this was God's plan. So it was literally the last girl that I was counseling that I had gotten off the phone with her. She needed local community resources for material aid, and it was the same story, different person. Where I'm looking, getting her zip code. I'm looking at all the pregnancy resources that are around, and just to say, as a prelude, pregnancy resource centers are so pivotal in this
Oh
movement.
yeah,
They,
we
with the
love them.
ultrasounds that they do, the parenting classes,
Yeah.
but the issue is that material aid is really not their bread and butter, because they do so many other things, and they rely on physical items from the local community members for them to bring
Mm.
in. This person brings in a car seat, they
Right.
bring in a pack and play. But it
Yeah.
was so material aid is usually pretty dry for a lot of the PRCs across the
For a lot,
country. So
and
I
and
was,
and that's a good point that you brought up too, just that I'll interject, like, there's a lot of PRCs that are, like, super robust. Like, I have been to
mhm,
some PRCs that I'm like, "Dang," like, they have
mhm,
I mean, it is, like, top notch. But overall and they have some really beautiful boutique I mean, they have tons of items, but like you said, that's reliant on the local community. But as a whole, like, there are areas of the United States where maybe there's not as many resources and the pregnancy center isn't able to do as much as maybe another pregnancy center. Or maybe there's areas, I mean, we had a mom in like Hawaii, for example, and we were like just trying to find a pregnant, like there was not a
yeah,
lot. And like there's areas of the US where there's not pregnancy centers. And so like filling that gap. So
yeah,
anyways, I digress, but yes, like
absolutely. No, yeah,
I've
that's
experienced
exactly
that for
how
sure.
it is. Yeah, it gets really. I was on the phone with the last mom I was counseling, and I had gotten off the phone just feeling super defeated, because once again, I mean, a large radius. It's not like we're just looking for what's 5 miles away. I put in like the zip code, and the radius is like 5 miles, 10, 15, and I'm doing lots and lots of phone calls, and I'm getting like, oh, sorry, we don't have anything. Well, we might have a car seat, but let me check. Let me call the other center.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have it. And it's difficult to go back to these moms and just kind of be like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And there was quite
You
a few
couldn't
times
find
I was
anything.
actually, yeah, there was quite a few times I was kind of using my own money and being like, okay, what do you absolutely need the most? A car seat? I'm going to get you a car
Yep.
seat.
A
Um,
100%. Like,
but
that's Nathan and I too, where the
yeah.
counselors would say, "Hey, like, I have this mom and there's not a lot of resources and she needs like, here's a registry," like, and then they would post it in our, let them live chat. And then Nathan and I are like, "Yeah, absolutely. We'll buy this, this, and this." So it's like we're all kind of
Mhm.
like filling in, but that's like, and that's really awesome. And Nathan and I still support moms from years ago, if they're like, "Hey, I need some money for gas," or whatever. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like, what's the long term solution, And that's the beauty of nonprofits. Like, that's where nonprofits come in, because guess what? Not like Let Them Live can't do it all. I wish we could.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I
And
don't,
that's
because we're
that's
all
why I
called.
was, when I had gotten off the phone with her, I remember the moment exactly. I was in my kitchen. It was in the evening, and I was just like depressed. And I said to my husband, "I'm so sick of this happening.
Mhm.
Like, why isn't?" Because I had researched, what organizations are out there. I was like, why isn't there a place where all they do is baby registries? It's the only thing they do, and it's like the goal is to do a full baby registry, and it gets delivered to the mom's door. And my husband, I'll never forget the moment. I've told this story multiple times, but my husband was like, "I don't know, you do it." And I was just like,
That's
I
like my
couldn't,
husband. When
yeah, I
Nathan
was
was
like,
like, "It's your thing. I'm just supporting you." I'm like, literally now he runs the whole thing with me. So,
yeah, I mean, but it was like, it was so supportive, but but he's just like it's so simple, you know? I mean, there I was more downcast, and he's just like, okay, well, you do it. And I thought, like, how would I possibly? But this is where, like, Nick and I, everyone has their ways where they don't work well together in areas, and where they work very well in areas. And this is where
true.
Nick and I, we work very well, because I'm
That's
better at
awesome.
going out, speaking, gathering
Mhm.
things, like but he's really good at being in the background, being
Yeah.
like, okay, legally, where do we start? How do we do this? He makes sure all the boxes are checked. And
Yeah.
I thought, because this was over a
Yeah.
year ago that this had happened, I thought, is this going to be a thing? And it was, and here we are. And just some of the reasons why a lot of women, because I think that some people, when they're not super, super involved in the pro-life movement, if they're not the one talking to the moms, they might not understand some of the exact reason why it's difficult for women to maybe go to a PRC. So besides some of the
Mhm.
resource centers just being really dry with material aid, a lot of the women, they don't have any transportation.
That's
And
exactly what I was
I'd
gonna
only
bring
heard
up.
of one PRC who delivered stuff. Yes, that's one of the big major issues. A lot of them, again, they live really far from a center, 50 miles. And also another issue I ran into multiple times was the amount of women that have high risk pregnancies is so many, and like they're on bed
Mm,
rest. It's so many more than what
mhm.
I knew before I came to let them live. So
Yeah.
when you have, even one of these
Yeah.
issues or a lot of them combined, they're high risk. They can't get in a car and move around. And
Yeah.
they would have to go place to place to place to get one item here, one item there. It's just
It
not
just adds
feasible, you know?
it adds more stress too, like
Yes.
it's just sometimes, like, especially when you're, could be a single mom, like, I'm just kind of pulling the typical let them live mom, like single mom, you're young, this could be your first pregnancy, it could be not, but either way, it's like there's already so much stress, maybe obviously the financial burden, and then just to have that registry, and that's something that we used to do at Let Them Live. That was something that was part of our financial plans, was a full registry for every mom. Then the problem became, it's crazy because it's hard for people to understand unless they've experienced running a nonprofit firsthand and just the demand that comes. But when
Mm,
you go from, you know, a handful of moms that you're supporting when you start off, it's very easy to say, okay, like every mom is going to get this, this, and this. And then you have now thousands of moms and, you have all these moms, you have 100 moms coming in every month. It's like, oh my gosh, we're so overwhelmed with just trying to make sure that these moms are like base level covered so that they don't have this abortion. Like,
right.
and every penny that comes in goes right back out to supporting a mom. It's really hard. And so that's why I'm so grateful that you guys answered that call to do this, because it's a resource that Let Them Live can't, like, step in every single time to provide every single mom. And
Yeah.
so I love that we can work together to do that. Um, and I think it's beautiful. So, and I also just love the name that you guys called your nonprofit. So, I don't know if I've said it yet, but Born to Be Registries. Like, come on, that is so cute.
And it's so funny because we knew that we wanted to do this, and we didn't have a name yet, because even like we were saying, God just kind of like picked me up from here and is like, nope, you're going over here. So we didn't just like have a name ready. But I remember I was thinking of what to call it. And I just thought, like, I think my one friend, he said, oh, just do like baby and me registries. And I'm like, well, that rhymes and it's really simple. And then I was kind of like, it's a little too simple because there's a lot of baby and me this and baby and me. And
Right.
then it just kind of, when I was actually thinking of a possible logo, which I didn't design the logo. My brother-in-law actually did, and he did a fantastic job. Shout
I
out to
love
Alex.
it.
Thank you so
The
much. And
store.
yes, but I was thinking of it back when I was attempting to do a logo on my own, and I failed miserably. The name came like Born to Be Registries. I'm like, oh my gosh, did and maybe God just planted that in my head right there too. But it's, I
100%.
do, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love that. That's kind of like when we started Let Them Live before we knew what we were calling it. I remember we were either driving, this was when Nathan and I were living in Washington, D.C., or like Arlington, Virginia. And we would go back to Fort Wayne, Indiana all the time to spend time with his family. Um, and we were either on the way there or on the way back. And we were either in Ohio or Pennsylvania. I remember this because it was late at night. We were in the car. Nathan was driving. We were talking about this nonprofit, which was just a glob idea. I don't know, whatever it was. And he's like, what do we call it? And I was like, all right, Holy Spirit, like, this is all you. And then I was like, let them live. And then we like looked it up on GoDaddy and it was free, you know? So it's like you just have those moments where it's like, oh, you know what I mean? I don't know. So I completely
And
understand
that's
that.
such
And
a powerful name too. Let them live. It's so powerful.
it
It
is.
packs a punch.
And
Yeah.
it does. And I just absolutely adore Born to Be Registries. Like it's cute. It's beautiful. Like again, the logo. And let me just like this is like a perfect place to plug really quick. I should have had it pulled up way before here, but borntoberegistries.com, you guys, it's so cute because it's like the wings of the stork are it's a stork, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. It was like I'm pretty sure it is, but like watch me just be like, it's an owl. I don't know, my brain. It's the
Brain
stork and
fog. Hey, I get it.
the wings of the stork are like open hands, and then obviously it's carrying a baby. And it's so cute because like, you know, nowadays 2024, like you can have things ordered right to, you know, people's homes. So it's like, oh, doorbell rings, here's like your Amazon registry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys
And I
born
just
to be
love that baby
registries.com.
holding up the rattle.
100%. I love it so much. And so yeah, so let's talk about this. How has it been? You started it about a year ago, right? Is that
Well, yeah, I mean, we were coming up with the idea and really putting it
idea of it?
together about a year ago. Yeah. And
Okay.
really being like, okay, let's, it took so long for the legal paperwork to get done. I remember talking to you about that. I'm like, this is taking a million years. So, but that we finally got the green light for that. So we were able to like, put the website together, and we did our logo. And I started creating social media, but really the launching of everything really was a few months ago. So we are
I love
very
it.
new, but
Very
we do
new.
have some, yes, we do have some success stories. So we have 3 success stories. And if you go on the website, there should be a tab for the success stories. We update those once a girl's registry and everything has been fully completed and delivered to her door. And we're actually on our 4th right now. And there's going to be, I believe, a newsletter going out that's going to have a link, but you can also go to borntoberegistries.com. Then there's a button that says fundraisers, and you can click on Madison. So Madison is actually a hurricane victim in South Carolina. It
Mm.
was Hurricane Helene or Helen? I think it's Helene.
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 Helene. Helene
Yeah, I'm like,
doing crazy damage. Oh yeah.
yes, this poor girl. So she's 4 months pregnant. She might actually be 5 months by now, or by the time this podcast airs, maybe
Mhm.
she'll be 5 months. But the hurricane flooded her residence, and she lost a ton of belongings, including pretty much everything that she had obtained for her baby on the way.
Mm.
She's got 2 other children, and she's really focusing on trying to get everything back on track for them. And then recently, as of, we were told yesterday, she actually got
Mhm.
everyone from her job got laid off. I'm assuming that's because of the hurricane damage. So she's trying to get some disaster relief.
Yeah.
But everyone in her area is just trying to
Yeah.
recoup from the disaster. So
Yeah.
this is a scenario where it's like we're doing this fundraiser and we are praying that
Yeah.
God softens the hearts of people to come together and put in anything that they
Yeah.
possibly can so that I can go about the process, which is, having a registry consultation with her. I
Yeah.
meet with moms a few times going over those items so that it's just one less thing, like we were saying earlier, that she
Yeah.
has to worry about. I mean, they're already like staring up this mountain. Like, how am
Yeah.
I going to climb this mountain?
Yeah.
And that can be stuff with bills, or if there's women in a situation where there's some domestic violence going on, or
Yeah.
they, need a new place to live, they're being evicted,
Yep.
anything. And then when
All this
you've got
stuff.
the big mountain of material aid on top of that, it's just like, I want to take
Yeah.
this weight off of not only the
Yeah.
mom, but the other organizations who are trying to do, all these other things. If we
Yeah.
can just take that weight off, I think it can be such a
Yeah.
blessing to,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
agree.
many.
It's beautiful because this just really shows the dynamic of working together because, well, A, the government's only going to be able to go so far, and this does show the beauty of like nonprofit work, while so many people are waiting for FEMA assistance, in the aftermath of hurricanes or other natural disasters. This is where nonprofits really shine, because you can really step in. It also showcases that we're all hands on deck, like in this movement, as people helping people, like whatever it is, like we are all hands on deck. Everyone has to participate. And like, I know that life is crazy right now. Like, the cost of groceries is, the
Ridiculous.
roof. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, everyone's feeling that impact, but God is above that. Like, God's in control of our finances. Everything is God's. Like, it's not ours anyways. Like, our bank account, it's not ours
Yeah.
anyways. And so just remembering that, like, and remembering that, like, if you're someone that's listening or watching or whatever, and you're like, oh man, like things are really tight this month, but I have $10, like, if it's done, and it's somewhere in the Bible, God loves a cheerful giver. If it's done with joy, and
Hmm.
and remembering that this is God's money, not mine, like, absolutely donate that. Because whenever
Hmm.
Nathan and I find ourselves in a tough spot, I'm like, you know what, we have a roof over our head, we have food in our bellies, we're good, and maybe, like, yeah, it's not going to be ideal, but like, we have to help where we can. And so that's just my encouragement, you guys. Please go to borntoberegistries.com, and donate to support Madison. And if this airs and that's already done, I'm sure there's already going to be another fundraiser up. But just those little things can change so much for a pregnant woman,
Hmm.
who's, like you said,
Yes.
facing just like an absolute mountain. And if you can participate in just taking one little thing off her plate, it can make the biggest difference.
Yes.
I love that.
So on the site, we have like an area, and obviously, like I said before, we're super new. So as we go along and we have more success stories and we're building, a stronger basis and everything, the website's going to have more, personalized stuff in it. But we have a little section of the real quotes from real moms. And anyone who does our Sponsor a Mom program, we're getting like cards and messages from the moms to the sponsors. But to see these women be so thankful, um, even that, it changes. It can change your life. I mean, it certainly has with mine. Even when I was
Yeah.
volunteering as a pregnancy counselor for
Yeah.
Let Them Live, and now as Born to Be, and getting on that first phone call with these moms to be like, I'm here to start your registry consultation. As we go through the whole list, they're just like, by the end of the conversation, they're like, they feel
Yeah. And
just
then you can
so
feel that.
relieved. It's amazing. It really is fantastic, because some of these women, like, at this point, they might have definitely already chosen life, and now they're like, wow, like, I can make it, I can do this. I'm so glad I didn't follow through with the abortion that I was planning or that I had scheduled. And some of these other moms, they might still be, I'm just not sure. I have this huge mountain I'm
Mhm.
staring up, and I contact them, and I'm just like, listen, among other resources that either their pregnancy counselor gave them, or if they're referred from a PRC to me, that I can show them all the other resources for different categories of difficulties they're going through. But when I say additionally, I don't want you to have to worry about a safe sleep space,
Yeah.
a car seat, a stroller, clothes, for the first year, like, bottles, like, we got it. And to,
Yeah.
just have them think of, wow, it just opens that space for them to put some of that worry and things
Yeah.
that they think this is currently impossible, to move it and be like, okay, this is possible. It's an
Yep.
amazing feeling. Yeah.
Yep. 100%. I love that too, because this might blow people's minds. I mean, it certainly blew my mind, but we've had moms come to Let Them Live. And I mean, upon, like, initially talking to them, just even when Nathan and I were just doing Let Them Live, even now, you know, they when they're talking to you, the fear and the anxiety and the stress and the burden they feel, you're thinking, okay, they need, like, you know, $20,000 of support, which is definitely the case sometimes. But there's many
Yeah.
moms that are like, I don't have anything for my baby. Like, I have this abortion scheduled. Like, you guys, how ridiculously crazy is that in 2024 there are women going in to have abortions because they don't they can't get their hands on the baby items that their baby needs. Like, that's wild to me. It's also wild to me that, a woman could go into Planned Parenthood, for example, and maybe even voice that concern and not get any resources. So
Yeah.
that's why this is so important, because literally sometimes it is just what we perceive to be the simplest things, like a
Yeah.
month of rent or like a full registry, that can literally save a life from abortion.
It does. Yeah. Because a lot of these women, they're in survival mode, So I think for some people who are pro-choice, and when some people who are pro-choice, it really almost seems like they're just full on, they would choose abortion for the woman instead of, like,
Yeah.
they don't realize that in terms of Planned Parenthood, like you said, they don't have any resources for when you're planning on having the baby. They have one option, and it's abortion.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and a lot of the people, I don't think they realize the monster that is Planned Parenthood, the absolute monster, where the vast majority of these women, they don't want to get in I think I said this in the last podcast I did with you. They're not just like, willy-nilly, oh, I just want to go get an abortion. Like, this is horrible for them. They feel like the rug was pulled out from underneath them. And they don't
Yeah.
realize the amount of resources that are out there that might be
Yeah.
able to, if we all pull together, the pro-life movement, and we share,
Yeah.
the load, that they can make this work. So it is something as simple often as a baby registry that it can make
100%.
them walk out of there. Planned Parenthood certainly isn't going to share Born to Be Registries or share Let Them Live. So it's super important that people in the pro-life movement, that you share the organizations, talk about us, share us on your social
Yeah.
media,
Yeah.
get the word out there.
100%. 100%. Support, supporting each other. And I think that's the big thing. Like, I will say we have had like individual employees at Planned Parenthood tell women about us, which I'm like, that's weird. But as a whole,
Wow.
Planned Parenthood as an organization isn't doing that, and
Mm-mm.
that's crazy. And I have a lot to say on that. But I want to like talk about ways that people can support you. And obviously, I want to talk about how I am going to be sponsoring Adopting a Mom through you guys, and what that looks like, and how people can do that, and who can do that, and just all the stuff. So, like, yeah, why don't you get into that, and then we can talk a little bit. I'm not sure. I mean, you guys will see it on social media when it comes up. I don't know the timing, but like, I will be definitely. I'm really excited to sponsor Mom and get her a registry. It's super simple. So, anyways, talk about that. Talk about all the ways that people can support you. Obviously, donating,
Mhm.
that type of stuff. But and then obviously social media as well.
Yeah, so definitely first and foremost, like anybody, whether you are donating or not donating, spread the word, go to our website, share our social media, talk about it with your friends. But in terms of donating, so we have, one-time donations, we have monthly donations. If you go to the website and you look at our little donation box, you can see when it'll say, like, $20 can cover items such as bottles, blankets, like it has, so that you kind of have a visual of what that can go towards. So there's monthly recurring donations. We do have, this will be, I think, the second fundraiser. So we're newer with the fundraisers and how that's working, but we're sharing the progress on those. And the moms, we always share their stories to let people know a little bit about what's going on and what their struggle is. And then the sponsor mom, we were going to do Adopt a Mom, but I think there's multiple programs that are Adopt a Mom. So we have, and I did post this on social media. The name is now officially like a Sponsor a Mom
Okay,
program.
cool.
So essentially, and this can be for individuals like Emily, you're doing it as an individual, but this is
I'm excited.
also I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh. But it's a really good opportunity also for businesses and churches. So we have a mom, once someone can fill out our submission form on the website. Also, our phone number is on there too, so they can call as well. But they say like, hey, I think I want to sponsor a mom. We have a mom that's ready to be sponsored. We let her know that she has a sponsor, and that her baby registry will full out be supplied by, whether it's this church or this business or this individual. I then have registry consultations, and we build up everything that mom needs. Definitely safe sleep space and all those things. And just as a side note, the products that we're choosing are good quality products. That's another thing I wanted to make sure I put in there. We're not just gathering, we go and look at the price on Amazon or whatever and throw it in a list. Like, we're really taking the time to ask the mom, even hygiene products. Is there something that, that you or your previous kids have a skin reaction to? Like, we want to get the good stuff, the bottles. We want to make sure it's a really natural feel, so that there's some bottles that babies just reject because it doesn't feel like skin. But moving on, I just wanted to definitely have a space to put that there.
That's a good point though that you brought up, because it reminded me too, because I don't have a notepad, which I normally do. Of you're partnering with Every Life. And if you guys don't know about Every Life, oh my gosh, you guys, it's amazing. They're diapers and wipes. It's super simple. What a beautiful thing. But they're pro-life and they're really good quality. Look, I'm not like what do they call them? Like crunchy granola moms or whatever. I love them. I have a lot of crunchy granola mom friends. But I think they're healthy, or whatever you say, like they don't have bad stuff in them, or I don't know. I'm like the worst person to talk about that stuff, but it's a pro-life company as well. So just to interject, you guys are partnering with them. And if you want to talk about that a little bit as well, while we're kind of on the topic of products, not only are they good products, but it's pro-life. So
Yes,
you're really double
exactly.
supporting.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So we're going to be buying lots of diapers, lots of wipes. That's something that goes into every registry as well. And when you look at the typical brands like Pampers or Huggies, they are obviously not pro-life.
Yes.
And they also have, some of the chemical stuff in their diapers. And the wipes can be difficult as well. I know that there's been lots of babies that have, even my kids, some of those brand names out there, my kids have super sensitive skin. They've had some reaction to some of those. Yes, we always had to go with the, more water wipes. But Every Life, like you said, there's like not the nasty chemicals in there. They're all natural, and they are still disposable. They're not like cloth diapers that you have to rewash. But they are super, super soft.
I love that.
And yeah, so we were able to partner with them. And when we looked, there's also more diapers and wipes in the box than the brand names. So when you take a look at the count, plus what we were able to do with them by partnering, it's even like fiscally, it's a smarter choice to go with them. Yes. And they also give back to organizations like Let Them Live as well. So it's just kind of like the circle of support, which is fantastic.
Support. I love that. Also, this is like totally random, but you said like cloth diapers. Like, okay, I have seen what comes out of like my nieces and my nephew. Like, ain't no way I would use cloth diapers, man. Like rewashable.
I tried.
I know there's some people that do, like, and I applaud you, but man, I have seen the yeah. I mean, we all have. We've seen what comes out of babies, and dang. Like,
I'm not knocking anyone who does cloth diapers. I tried them with my son. It worked for a little bit, for a few months, but I will tell you, like, first of all, you have to check them way more often. And secondly, like, yes, you have to hand wash it, which really is not fun when it's number 2. And
no, literally, I just gag. This is me changing my like niece's diaper, like holding my breath.
That's what my husband does.
I can't do it. I have like this most sensitive gag reflex. So like Again, not knocking anyone that does it, but like, yeah, that's why I will, whenever we do have kids or whatever, like I will be buying Every Life because I can just throw those things away.
Well, just to add about the cloth diapers, eventually, I don't know if you ever heard of like towel stripping, because over time, like the detergent can build up and build up. So then you can like, you might have to strip your towels like with borax and laundry
No.
washing soda in the tub. And you can like look at all the nasty. The same thing I found when I had them for my son happens with the diapers. And then it's like, no matter how well you feel like you're washing them and rinsing them, you will
Oh.
smell a chemically smell, and then they can get diaper rash way easier with cloth
Aw.
diapers. So it definitely seems, yeah, multiple reasons.
Sorry,
Just
I
don't
didn't
let
mean
your
to take us down this
yes,
rabbit hole.
that's okay.
I'm like, anyways, sorry, Emily, get on track here. But yeah, no, like I think that's awesome that you guys are partnering and like honestly just giving moms really good quality stuff because it's maybe for some moms this is not the last, baby they're going to have. And so,
Mhm.
it's nice to have that stuff. And then, they can always like give back too. Like I mean, I've seen it so many times where moms like are so grateful for the support they got that they are going to give back. So whether that's like then kind of donating their items to a pregnancy center or whatever, like
Mhm.
you can be rest assured that like these things are going to just continue to support and help.
Yep, exactly. And that's why I know that you and I have said before, Emily, like all of the organizations and everyone really sticking together as almost as one, like we're separate and we're separate entities, but the networking and,
Yeah.
partnering just to lift up these women to give them as much
Yeah.
support as possible. And it like
Yeah.
revitalizes them and gives them hope. And
Yeah.
then oftentimes, yes, they want to give back in whatever way that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're all on the same team here. We want to support moms. We want to support them like during and after their pregnancies. We want to give them hope and love. And so we are all on the same team. Like, and I think we just have to keep having that abundance mindset, like there's plenty of support to go around. There's so many moms to support. There's so much to do that like there's no way that we can just do it by ourselves. And we're all part of the same club. What's that like that new meme or whatever? It's like into club, we all fam or whatever. Like I don't know.
I have not seen that. I will be
Okay,
honest. If I am on social media, it's Born to Be social media. That's
that makes
my
sense.
social media life. So I
I've
haven't
been
seen that.
just scrolling too much. But I was also going to point out, Victoria, you and I are part of a very exclusive club, I do believe, of pro-lifers who have tattoos on their hands. So I don't know how many of us are actually in that club,
Oh,
but
yes.
don't judge a book by its cover. You know?
Yes. I definitely, and I would like to pull mine up and maybe show it to the camera. I have my shirt sleeve is like really,
I
let's see if
love that.
I can show it.
Oh, I
That's
love
my,
it.
that's the baby. Yes. That was,
Oh, that's
for all
beautiful.
the babies that were saved while counseling at Let Them Live. And yeah, I love looking
Oh my
down and looking at
gosh.
this tattoo and just
I love
having that
that.
awesome feeling of like, yeah, I don't think, I'll ever stop being involved
Yeah.
in this movement and doing everything that I can wherever God places me
Yeah.
to help save the lives of babies. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And I want to say to anyone listening or watching too, like, please don't let the fact that Born to Be Registries is newer, like don't let that discourage you. Like at one point, Let Them Live was brand new. Like
Mhm.
we were just trying to figure it out, like we weren't what we are today, but we were helping moms. And so don't let that discourage you from supporting. Like, I mean, not that this means anything, but like Born to Be Registries is obviously Let Them Live backed. But just from my own personal experience, like Victoria, you are just the biggest hearted person who wants to help these moms, and I know for a fact that like they are in such good hands. So I just want to, like, if it means anything to anybody, like Nathan and I are monthly donors, like just because this is a newer organization, like that doesn't mean that you should be like deterred from supporting. In fact, like we should support newer organizations more because they need
Mhm.
to grow. And so I just want to say that. And again, borntoberegistries.com. You guys should donate. There's just so many moms that need help. And Victoria, like before we close it out, is there anything else that you wanted to say or leave everyone with?
I'm just really excited to see where God is taking us. I really honestly do think this is a God thing, just the way that it came about and the way that it's going. I think there's really good things to come in the future, and just stay, follow us so that you guys can all stay tuned on the awesome things that are happening. And we would love you to be a part of it.
I love that. Yay. Well, I'm excited to um, you know, sponsor my mom and then have it all on my social media. So guys, please like keep
So
your eye out
excited.
for that. And if it's already passed, I am sure I will sponsor another mom. So thank you again, Victoria, for being on and sharing
Thank you
your
for having
heart and
me.
your mission. But yeah, of course, thank you guys for listening to another podcast episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Let Them Live podcast with Emily Burning. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know your thoughts in the comments and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.